Welcome to another episode of The Passionate Piscator from here inside my Holiday Inn hotel room. I'm going to draw back the curtains to see what the world has to offer me. Well, I was going to say it's first thing in the morning, but it's not first thing in the morning. I had a nice lie-in. But it's still the morning, I promise. And there's what the world has to offer. Well, of course, it's a fishing channel, so it's going to be fishing. But not this little pond here. There's another pond just behind here. And it's called Holiday Inn, which is no surprise really, as I'm staying at the Holiday Inn. I just thought I'd give the housemate a break from me and, come and have a little evening away. I've had a look round the lake. It's an unusual lake, as we shall see, but apparently it's teeming with fish. So I'm going to finish my cup of tea. I'm going to get the classic Piscator flat cap on. There we go. Yeah, I'm looking relatively smart. And head out with my very warm now maggots as they've been warming up inside the hotel room. Sweet corn, pellets, I can't think what else I've got now. Ground bait, and see if I can catch some of the hundreds of fish that lie in wait in the little Holiday Inn pond. And here I am, down at the lake. Haven't set up yet, just having a bit of a look round, deciding what swim I want. Ooh, the sun. I've chosen this one because there is a little bit of shade from the trees, currently anyway, and a place where I can go and hide to behind me. It's absolutely beautiful, look at that. There's a load of, the pond or the lake has recently been cleared of all the lilies. There's loads in the margins, great big patches of it over there as you can see. But there's still plenty of places to fish. I imagine before they did clear out some of these lilies, you couldn't fish it at all, barely. But the Crosshands Angling Club, which have rights to fish this lake, have done a very good job. Very good indeed. The water's a little low, as you can see by the banks in the background. But that's fine. The fish are still here. They're not going to mind too much about that. There's a lot of weed. Luckily these lilies are those sort of really small ones which you can pull through quite easily, so if I do catch anything sizable I can easily pull the fish through it. But I am going to fish a little bit further out beyond all the weed and clag if I can. If it gets a bit too much, I mean, I'm the only person on the lake this morning, so I can just move to where I want. But yeah, absolutely beautiful. Peaceful, but you do have the old motorway slash dual carriageway. I'm not quite sure if it's dual carriageway or motorway, but there is a very busy road behind the lake itself. So we've got a little bit of a drone from the traffic, but when things are this beautiful, it doesn't really matter. But it is quite an unusual lake, and I'll flip the camera to show you why. There we go. I don't know if you'll be able to see. I'll zoom in for you. Enhance. That's why it's unusual. Can you see? And it runs all the way around the edge of the lake, round by the heron. You can see it all over there, and across the other side, all the way around the edge. It is pond liner. It's pond liner. Polyurethane, poly whatever, it's some sort of plastic pond liner. The entirety of this entire lake was at some point an ornamental pond that someone dug, put a pond liner in to hold the water, and probably stocked with the fish. I don't know. I imagine maybe it was either dug or here for the Holiday Inn for the guests to walk around and chill out and relax at, which I can fully understand. It's absolutely stunning, very beautiful down here. But how unusual. I've never fished a lake that has a pond liner at the bottom of it. It's like fishing a garden pond. It's a hell of a big garden pond, but it will be like fishing a garden pond. But hey, if there's fish in it, I'll fish it. I was going to tell you that the lake being a little bit shallow at the moment won't be a problem, or shouldn't be a problem, but I've never fished this lake before, and I don't really know if it's a problem or not, but I've just plumbed the depth and there's the hook and there's the float. It's literally that long. It's really shallow. It's super shallow, and I thought maybe I'm sitting in a rubbishy bit of a lake. Maybe I'm sitting on a great big lump like that. But I've had a little wander around the edges, and it just seems to be that sort of depth. It is a little bit deeper over the other side there, but there's no cover. It's going to be full sun. I mean, if I don't catch any fish, I may have to go over there. Maybe just be driven to a slightly deeper part of the lake. But crikey, I was not prepared for it to be quite that shallow, I'll be honest. But that's fishing sometimes. I mean, I've never fished here before. I'm not fishing in the margins anymore, that's for sure. I'm fishing way out into the distance, because that's about as deep as I can get it from where I'm sat. But a little sprinkling of maggot just to start it off. I'm sure by the reputation of this lake, it will just attract a load of rudd, but we'll see. I've never fished this lake before, as I say, so I've got to start at the beginning, and it's going to be maggots on the hook. Now I have put a size 12 hook on, which is a bit much for a few maggots, but I do intend to put some sweet corn on, and I didn't want to have to change hooks. So I'll chuck that out there. A bit of that little bird's nest which is already building up on my line. Float already gone, and I'm already into the smallest fish I've ever seen in my life. Luckily it came off. Right, I think I can see the situation already with maggots. It's a very fat, cute little rudd, but with 3 maggots on a size 12, I hooked that fish. Whee! Off you go. And the fish doesn't care how shallow the lake is, does it? Bam, into another one. Man, you could really bag up on these. Come here. And I think I might. I think I might be doing that if I continue with maggot. I think me using maggots is going to be very short-lived this morning. Hopefully a few tench will turn up. That's why I bought the sweet corn, because I think these are going to perhaps get a little boring, a little bit fast. Whee! Actually, I say boring. I'm really enjoying myself. 42-year-old man. A 42-year-old man. Right, come here, you. There you go. Putting maggots on a size 12. Catching the smallest rudd you've ever seen. And there's a blooming great big smile on my face. I can't even pretend. I can't even pretend that I'm really disappointed by loads of tiny rudd, can I? That's why I called myself and the channel The Passionate Piscator, because I just have a passion for angling. Woohoo! He fell off a hook. These could be minnows on the river. They could be the smallest fish. Well, they are the smallest fish in the world. But man, this is great. They keep falling off the hook. Oh dear. Just love it. I love it. Oh my word, the smallest one yet. One hour later. You may have noticed I've changed swims. You know, I was sat in that swim over there, and as wonderful as it was, and as many fish as I was catching as I was sitting over the other side, and I could see a nice big patch of big lilies. Not these little small ones that break away quite easily, but the great big tough ones that we're used to when fishing little ponds, particularly full of tench. And I was thinking to myself, with the water as shallow as it is, and herons being about and predators being about, I just can't help but think that the fish are going to be a little bit spooked, and they're probably going to be underneath these lily pads. And if I was a fish, I'd be underneath the biggest lily pads I could find, and these are the biggest lily pads on the lake. So I've moved swims. It has meant that I can change the depth of my float by about 4 inches. Well, to be kind to myself, about 5 maybe, which makes it a little bit deeper. And I just think that the fish are more likely to be here than anywhere else. So I'm having to rebait another swim, which isn't any hardship. I've got plenty of bait, got plenty of maggots, and sweet corn, little pellets. Just put like a small bed out there to begin with, and I'm fishing a piece of sweet corn over the top, because I know that maggots are off the cards, unless I sort of get a bit bored later and fancy bagging up on some little rudd. But if I want to catch myself a tench, I've got to get myself a pellet or a bit of sweet corn on. And I'm starting with sweet corn because tench love sweet corn, don't they? They love a nice sweet bit of bait. I haven't put any ground bait in. I've got some lovely sweet ground bait with me. But I fear if I put some of that in, every rudd in the entire lake will find me. It's just as nice over here. In fact, I can watch the traffic here going back and forth. It's shady at the moment, but that won't last long. So I will have to whack some of the sun lotion on me. I did have to displace 7 geese from this swim, and they're sort of sat just over there, and they're looking at me, glaring at me a little bit for taking their little resting spot. But yeah, you know, it's about time they woke up and started swimming anyway. If I'm up, the geese should be up too. And as if to prove that I know what I'm doing, the move paid off. A little baby tench, absolutely beautiful. Exactly what I'm after today. If I get something big, fantastic, but I'm happy catching these little guys if they keep coming all day long. The geese are coming back. They want their swim back after I kicked them out of it. We've already had a little bit of an altercation as I walk past them, giving it all that kind of attitude, you know, that geese do. I already had to Jurassic World them a bit, hold my hands out, you know, whoa, hey, walking past, leaving you be, but kicking you out of your swim so I can sit here. I'm happy with them being there, but no closer, ideally, as they are a bit tetchy, should we say. I just have a feeling they're going to creep up on me. Magic. It just had a tench. Sounds like a slightly bigger one, but it's just like miraculously changed into a whole bunch of weed. It went into a little weed bed, and what pulled through wasn't a tench. It was a big old chunk of weed. There's loads of it, but the tench does love these sort of conditions in a lake. Lots and lots of weed, lilies and things for it to mooch around in. It may not have escaped your notice that a tench is green in colour. There's very good reason for that, because that's the sort of thing it likes to live in. It wants to camouflage and keep out of the way. Oh, what have we got here? It's got to be a rudder, it's gone in that quickly. And that's what it uses. It likes to live in amongst there. It will root around, eating all the little bugs and whatnot. God, how did you manage to swallow that down? It was in the water for a fraction of a second. There we go. Whoop, here you go. Yeah, so if you're on a lake with loads of weed, there's a good chance you're going to get some tench, if there are tench present, of course. However, I do prefer catching tench to weed. I suppose really I should have bullied it in a bit more, but I was enjoying myself, you know. And the fish got off scot-free, didn't it? The move over to these big lilies, these big lily pads, was a great idea. Despite it's always worth reading the water. I don't know why I didn't see them first thing this morning. I think because the geese were over here and I was trying to... I think I'm two more. I think because the geese were over here this morning, I just wanted to give them a wide berth. But I needed to get by these big lilies. Oh, that's riled up the other geese. Oh no! I think a turf war may have started. Uh-oh. So much better peace and quiet. Little happy tench. They're so cute. Oh, I love them. Absolutely love them. I love big tench, but I love little ones as well. Look at this little fella. Absolutely pristine. Well, I haven't shown them all because they've all been the same size, but that is my 12th tench. And I said to myself, on my 12th tench, I'm going to change from using sweet corn, and I'm going to pop a pellet on the hook. So that's precisely what I'm going to do now. Now, somewhere in here, we just lock that down there. Ouch, that's my leg. Somewhere in my little bag of tricks, I've got all sorts of pellets. Now I've been feeding those little dot pellets, which I love so much, but I've also been feeding some slightly bigger ones, some sort of reds, and just a little mixture of different pellets I've picked up through the years and chucked into a bag. And I've actually got some little red ones to mimic the red ones which are in it, but I don't know, these are a little bit smaller, but I've got a size 12 hook on. So I reckon some of these, what size are these? 8mm. It's certainly going to slow the bites down, I know this, before I even put a bait out there. But it might just pick up something different, or something slightly bigger, or the tench might be really into pellet. Who knows? These are just hooker pellets. You just pop them on the hook carefully, roll them round, and bam, they're on there. I don't need to mess around with hair rigs, drilling pellets and all that sort of shenanigans and nonsense. I'm going to swing that into position. See, I'm swinging it a bit further than I want. I'm just dragging it into a little, well, I reckon I've got about a foot, a foot round. But well, it's not that there's no weed, it's just that I've cleared all the weed out of it now by dragging it in. Still steadily catching them. I absolutely adore catching tench. Really, really adore it. I don't even care what size they are. In fact, I'm enjoying catching these little ones. I've got really light line. And it's been fun trying to get through the rud, trying to get down to it. It's just sort of honing my skills a little bit, really. I remember catching my very first tench when I was a very young teen. That was at Ashmore Lakes, although it wasn't Ashmore Lakes at the time, because it was a fishery that only I fished, because it was my fishery. My grandparents dug it for me and stocked it full of just a bucket of fish. No idea what they were. The rudd which were in there became very obvious because they were on the top, and we used to fish just low down. I say we, my good friend and everyday angler Aaron. I guess he was I was lucky enough to have some fishing lakes dug for me, and he was lucky enough to have met me to fish them as well. So it was just us two fishing it, nobody else. And we had no idea what we were doing at that age. And it was actually Aaron who had been reading through like Angler's Mails, because we'd always used sweet corn, that was it. And he was like, hey, we ought to use these things called maggots. We ought to get hold of some maggots. Yeah, because we reckon we catch a few more different species. Anyway, for whatever reason, I'd put like a little ledger on and was fishing on the bottom with maggots. And I wasn't catching a lot. I think we had a couple of little perch, which again, we had no idea were in there. And I wandered off around the bank a little bit. I think probably just to bait another swim. And when I came back, the rod tip was going crazy. Terrible angler back then I was. Well, I'm much better now, but I had no idea what I was doing, as I say. And when I hooked into the fish that was on there, it was sizable. And we were like, what on earth is this? And we knew there was a couple of carp in there which had been given to us by somebody, but the carp were pretty big. They were like 10-pounders. Anyway, when the fish rose to the surface, we were initially, both of us were just like, what on earth is that? No idea what that is. And Aaron was like, I think that's a tench. And I went, a tench? Yeah, it's green. It's a tench. It's a tench. And I was so excited. I was like, we're a tench. And we were literally just like shouting, and it's just this crazy wildness sort of took us. Anyway, we landed it, and it was about probably about £1.5, £2, something like that, which is a massive fish for us at the time, especially when we'd only been catching rudd up to that point. And we were just absolutely elated. And when the fish was safely back in the water, I spent, I don't know how long, but I ran around the entirety of the lakes going, a tench, in tench, we caught a tench. It was madness, absolute madness. And from there on in, we never turned our backs on tench. I know Aaron is also a massive fan of tench. And it does not matter to us one jot what size they are. We just absolutely adore them. They're silky smooth, beautiful colorations, just fantastic. the amazing things you see when you just spend a little bit of time fishing. No matter how much I try, I will never be better at catching fish than that. Isn't that lovely? I'll tell you what, we'll get the net underneath. Oh. I was sitting there thinking, guys, quintessential, isn't it? A tench water. But what fish pairs with a tench better than a Crucian carp? And there we are, a lovely little Crucian carp. Crucian and tench, they just seem to go together really, really perfectly. They love the same sort of ponds and weedy, lily infested little ponds and ditches and drains, and there we are, a lovely little Crucian. I'm getting a lot of clag at the moment. You see that little wiggly thing? It's like a hair algae of some sort. I wasn't getting any of that this morning. I was getting big chunks of weed, but none of this hair algae. Let's grab a pellet. Hook the pellet on. There we go. Just swing it out. Yeah, I don't know quite where all this hair algae is coming from, the string algae. Maybe it's drifting down with the breeze. But what it's doing is, as soon as my pellet's hitting the bottom, with fish moving around, and it's just tangling up in the hair algae. It's very, very low across the bottom of the lake. And if you don't keep recasting and redoing your bait, you end up with a big ball of it around your hook bait, and you're not going to catch anything on that. Oh, swelter. Well, I've moved swims to the other side of the lilies. So I was sat just over there, and I've just flipped over by one swim. The reason is I think that the clag is just coming across that way with the wind. And sure enough, I can drag the tench with me, and I have, basically. The tench isn't playing ball. There we go. Lovely. Right, so hopefully I'll get a lot less clag on my hook and line over here. It certainly seems to be the case. I've just got to bring those tench from the other side of those lilies back over here again, which I'm sure won't be too difficult. Well, since moving to this side of the lilies, life's got a little bit trickier. I've still been catching the odd fish, but it really has been the odd fish. It's been fizzing with bubbles in my little swim where I've got the pellets in. So I was thinking, oh, I'm drawing all the tench over, fantastic. And sure enough, I've had a few tench. But I've been putting these 8mm pellets on, and they just will not stay on the hook. They float bobs and dips and whatever, and oh, there you go. It's been driving me absolutely bananas. But finally I figured out what it is. Crucian carp. I've got a whole bunch of Crucian carp there. They're only wee little things, and they're just pecking at the bait, which is why the float's going da 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 da. And when I strike into it, when there's a good little tug, nothing at all. my theory about the Crucians is 100% correct. Here they are. I found a way of catching them using little teeny tiny pellets. I mean, the hook is really obvious on a size 12, but they don't seem to be minding too much. And they're really, really beautiful. I do love a Crucian. Lovely to catch. Anyway, let's unhook you and put you back. See if I can catch a few more. It's crazy, isn't it, how I could be that side of the lilies and I catch tench, and yet I could be this side of the lilies and it's all Crucian carp. Doesn't make sense, does it? What is it about this side of the lilies that the tench don't really fancy but the Crucians do? But I'm pretty proud of myself for realising, to be honest, because I caught that one Crucian the other side of the lilies. And though there are a few bream in here, apparently, I just don't think they're going to come in that close. And I was trying to catch the Crucians like tench, you know? And that's why I wasn't catching them. The bait wasn't small enough. I'm looking for little teeny tiny dips on the float. The float isn't even dipping under at the minute. I'm putting on, I'll show you. I'll show you. I've still got my size 12 hook on, but I'm putting on teeny tiny little pellets, and I'm just nicking them on like that. Now I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but how crude does that look? I mean, any self-respecting fish is going to think, surely, oh, there's a hook in that. But apparently not. Apparently not. Apparently Crucians, in here anyway, just don't care. They want a little bit of food, and they want it now. I think I'm going to call it a day. I have filled my boots with fish today. Well, I filled my net anyway. I don't know about my boots. So many tench. They breed like wildfire in here, and plenty of Crucians and lots of rudd. What I've discovered here, well, I haven't discovered it, somebody else discovered it. People have discovered it way before me, but what I have discovered today, me personally, is that what I have here is the perfect farm pond. And you know what I mean by farm pond, with tench and Crucians and rudd. The sort of little tiny pond you'd have on a farm out of the way, which barely anyone fishes, except this one you can actually fish, and it's fantastic. I love it. Absolutely love it. Light lines, light gear, apparently no finesse required. Fish one side of the lilies for tench, fish this side of the lilies for Crucians. It's as simple as that. Absolutely wonderful, and the wildlife here has been phenomenal. So many birds and insects. I've been watching azure demoiselles breeding. I've been watching jays flying back and forth. I've been watching herons feeding. I've been watching rabbits running around the place. And you wouldn't think. There's a blooming hotel right there, and the road's right there. It's like a little piece of peace. It's like a little piece of heaven in the heart of Bristol. Well, not even at the heart, but certainly the outskirts. I'll certainly be back again for the tench, for the Crucians, for a bigger tench maybe for a carp, because I saw one earlier on actually cruising around. But I will be back. If you've liked this video, give it a like. I've loved filming it. Subscribe to the Passionate Piscator YouTube channel, that's this channel, and I will see you guys next time on perhaps a beautiful bank like this. Bye.